Good morning, Advertising Week, New York. I'm Helen Ma, and I'm super excited to be here to kick off this session by sharing the innovative ways that Meta is investing in the future of marketing across our technologies. Picture this. You're a marketer for a brand that specializes in what some might call a niche product. Your customers, though, are very loyal and have helped the company grow steadily over the past few years. Although the business is primarily e-commerce based, you've recently hit a plateau and are struggling to find new customers online. You need to find these new customers and grow awareness for your brand. Sound familiar to anyone in the audience? What would you do? If you're a traditional marketer, you may have tried different. Why is this not going? If you're a traditional marketer, you may have considered different strategies that have worked for you in the past. But if none of those strategies actually move the needle, what do you do? Today, I'm here to talk about the potential benefits of using AI to solve marketing challenges now and in the future. At Meta, connection is at the core of everything we do. And over the past 20 years, as people's behaviors have evolved, so has how we've enabled technologies to connect them to what matters the most to them. This goes for connections between friends and family, and it also applies for people's connections with brands and with creators. To drive those connections, machine learning and AI have fueled Meta technologies and continue to deliver more relevant and personalized experiences for people, as well as deliver performance gains for advertisers. Now, let's acknowledge that AI is definitely a buzzword these days. But at its core are a set of fundamental technologies that, when applied to digital advertising, can help marketers work more efficiently, make more data-driven decisions, and most importantly, improve the effectiveness of your marketing campaigns. The opportunities for marketers to lean into AI are vast. And at Meta, we're continuously iterating on our vision for AI in marketing, one brick at a time. By increasing our investments in generative AI, by transforming every part of the ad stack, we're creating unique opportunities to bring people, creators, and businesses closer together through commerce. Last year, we launched a multitude of new AI-powered ad products, expanded our suite of Gen AI tools for advertisers, and created a host of new AI capabilities across our technologies. And 2 weeks after Meta Connect, we're here at Advertising Week with a profound sense of excitement and momentum for our investments in AI. In fact, we've seen significant advertiser traction with our generative AI ad creative tools, with more than 1 million advertisers using at least one of these products monthly, and 15 million ads created just in the last month alone. But the innovation doesn't stop there. Earlier this week, we also announced that we're continuing to expand Meta's suite of tools, from full text and image generation to now introducing our video creative generative AI tools. Say that 10 times fast. We began testing video expansion, which seamlessly adjusts aspect ratios to fit different multiple surfaces across Instagram and Facebook. This feature came directly from advertiser feedback that used our image expansion tool, one of our most popular Gen AI features. Now, for the first time on Instagram Reels, you can generate video creative from existing static images without any video assets to start with. Early advertiser feedback has been really positive, as this helps smaller businesses with limited resources to shoot video, as well as direct response advertisers with primarily banner and photo creative to showcase their products more efficiently and combat creative fatigue. We also take great pride in collaborating with marketers and taking your direct feedback in our new AI solutions. For example, we know that businesses large and small care about building their brand, and for that to be reflected in their ad creative. We took this feedback directly and began testing new capabilities to better incorporate an advertiser's brand voice and tone into our creative generation features, including the ability to upload logos to customize outputs, as well as the ability to use text prompts to both create and modify images. At the end of the day, people and businesses come to Meta because our solutions have proven to work. Particularly for advertisers, we set out to analyze more than 1 million ad campaigns in the US and found that for every $1 an advertiser spent on Meta, we generated, any guesses? $3.71 in revenue for their business. That means in the US, we were able to generate $180 billion in revenue annually from Meta ads. Compared to a previous study from April 2022 that was run exactly the same way, this represents a 12% increase in return on ad spend that Meta was able to generate for advertisers just in the past 24 months. The same campaign found that for every $1 spent on our Advantage Plus shopping campaigns generated, drumroll, $4.52 in revenue for businesses, which is a 22% increase in incremental return on ad spend from our AI-powered suite of tools. We know these products work and will continue to iterate and innovate as AI technologies mature and evolve. Now, at the beginning of this story, I asked what you would do if you were faced with a tough marketing challenge that you couldn't solve with just traditional strategies. The answer might just be AI. Now, the truth is, it is still early days when it comes to realizing the full potential of generative AI for marketers. But in terms of what we've seen that traditional models have demonstrated, as well as the early leaps we've already seen these Gen AI models demonstrate, we're very confident that we can discover new use cases and marketing applications from across the industry to drive transformational improvements for marketers over time. Of course, we'll continue to test, learn, iterate, and refine to ensure that we make the ad processes easier for marketers, as well as to ensure that we're improving performance for marketers. Okay, what's next? So we're just getting started, and over the coming year, we'll plan to share more around our GenAI investments across the full ad stack, including ad formats, ranking, delivery, and AI agents. And on that note, one area that we're particularly excited about is messaging and how AI is helping to bring businesses and customers closer together at scale. So I'd like to welcome up onto the stage my colleague, Nikhila Srinivasan, and the Chief Data and Technology Officer for Dentsu, Shirley Zelser. Welcome, Nikhila and Shirley, and thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Helen, for that kind introduction. And it's wonderful to be here. This is my first time on this stage, but it's really exciting that it's about a topic that I'm really passionate about, which is AI. But day in and day out, I work on messaging. And messaging platforms aren't usually talked about as much in rooms like this, which is filled with a lot of performance marketers. But as a channel that has much better click-through and open rates compared to legacy channels like SMS or email, I'd argue they should be. Helen just walked us through some of the challenges that several businesses face today and marketers face every day. It's really hard to grow a business. It's no small feat. But at Meta, we're uniquely positioned to support advertisers and businesses of all sizes by bringing together the reach of our apps and the unrivaled speed of innovation. We're investing in a suite of AI products that are transforming every part of the ad stack. and every part of the business's experience, and delivering some real results that you just heard about. But today, I want to go a little deeper on generative AI solutions for advertisers and talk about business messaging, or the way that brands are using WhatsApp to usher in a new era of customer engagement, customer support, and most critically, to drive better sales. I'm joined on stage by a leader who has unique insights into the implications of Gen AI for advertisers both here in the US and globally. I'm so thrilled to be sitting down with Shirley Zelser, who's Chief Data and Technology Officer at Dentsu. Dentsu is also the first global agency to partner with us as a WhatsApp solution provider. So thank you for joining us today, Shirley.
Thank you for having me here.
Wonderful. So Shirley, Dentsu is known to be a thought leader in the ads ecosystem, whether it's really leaning into new formats like business messaging or jumping headfirst into AI-supported ad creatives. I'm sure clients are coming to you every day and asking about generative AI. How are you framing up the AI opportunity for them?
Yeah, well, first of all, great to be here, and thanks for having me with you. So it's true. We, on a daily basis now, get questions about generative AI, which for me is super exciting because I actually grew up in the analytics space, and we've been using AI for years and years. It's just, now that generative AI is this new big thing, we get asked about it on a daily basis. And generally speaking, what I tell our clients is, first and foremost, you don't need generative AI for the sake of having generative AI, right? You need to have generative AI to support your business outcomes and make sure that you understand what your use cases are, and then how does generative AI help you to support those specific use cases. And so we see that AI can support that through process efficiencies and making your campaigns more efficient or your optimization more efficient, and there's that big efficiency play. And then there's the performance improvement play and making, the ability to be more predictive or better forecasting and all of these things to really improve performance. And then all of that laced with the ethics around AI and making sure that you're using AI responsibly and that you're sort of proud of the way that your brand is using AI.
I love what you said, because AI is really not just a checkbox just because everyone is doing it now, even though it's top of mind for several of us in this room, but really a means to enable you to achieve outcomes that you're already trying to, and an accelerant. And also appreciate that you brought up topics that are already top of mind across the industry around ethics and using AI responsibly, which is also something we're very keen to and invested in significantly at Meta. But I'm sure AI is top of mind for everyone here, and Helen touched on some of the stats. We're seeing that in Meta as well. We have over 1 million advertisers already using our Gen AI tools every month, and just last month, 15 million ads that were created using these tools. So the traction is there. People want to try this out more. But I think we can all also agree we're only scratching the surface of what's actually possible here. You have the opportunity and a unique scale of a massive client base that you work with. And I'm sure they're playing with different types of innovative ways to use AI. I'd love to hear how you are seeing brands leveraging AI to drive to better outcomes today. You touched on some of the ways that they could do that. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah, so when we think about AI, obviously there's these amazing tools that are out there to get better production and better creative and better copy. But then there's also how to integrate data better. And there's also the ability to use data that you haven't really been able to use before, whether it's data that comes from messaging or data that comes from call centers. And we call this unstructured data. And previously, we were never really able to do that. And now we're able to bring all of this data together to use it to create better creative or better copy or audiences in general. So it's really exciting now that we're able to take all of these different tools and the data and really bring everything together to make it a lot more powerful.
I very much see that as well. This is a unique moment and a unique time in technology where you actually have something that's able to bring so many other aspects that you've had to running your business together, especially around unstructured data. I think especially in the messaging front, something we see as a massive opportunities, it's also helping people automate workflows around messaging that weren't possible before. And it makes things more achievable for small businesses as well to actually operate and achieve at scale, which was only previously available to a large business, including data that previously wasn't as obviously accessible to them. I just have to say, it's enthusiastic for us always to hear about early adopters like you, because you're bringing along a lot of the industry as well. And you said there's a lot of tools today that people are already using to show more creative diversity. Are you actually seeing that unlocking performance? What kind of results have you seen your clients get?
Yeah. So it's actually really interesting because when we think about creative diversity, our research has shown that consumers don't necessarily require a ton of creative diversity, but we live in an algorithmic era, and we talk about this all the time at Dentsu, that we're in the algorithm era. And how do we sort of mitigate that with what consumers are seeing or want to see? And the algorithms really care about diversity of creative. So it's really great that we can use AI and the tools that are in place, and the tools that you have to sort of mitigate that and to generate this creative that not only performs well and sort of satisfies both what the consumers want to see and what the algorithms are calculating, but then also stays true to the brand and stays true to sort of what that messaging of the brand is going to be. So we've actually seen, the cost to result, metrics be reduced by probably, 9 to 10% when using meta tools such as, advertising Shopper Plus. So it's really exciting to see all of this coming together, where we're really thinking about both the consumer, the algorithm, and then how to optimize everything.
And it's not always obvious that more isn't necessarily more here, but everything that you've said so far is so anchored in how can we help advertisers actually get better performance, and then working backwards from there into what the best practices are. And as you mentioned, we ran some tests as well, comparing ad performance between advertisers who adopted the Advantage Plus creative solutions that use Gen AI and ones that don't, and there was an 11% higher click-through rate.
Very close.
Called out. And a 7.6% higher conversion rate. So it's proof that these tools really do work. But I'd be remiss if I didn't sit here and steer you towards our primary area of collaboration, which is business messaging. It's usually not a topic that's included in traditional advertiser conversations in the US, as much as it is earlier in development here. It's very much a way of life in other parts of the world today. I'd love to hear a little bit about your approach and how that's changed over time to business messaging in general.
Yeah. So at Dentsu, we firmly believe that an advertiser's kind of opportunity is to reach the right person at the right time with the right message. And we sort of are lucky to be partnered with Meta and have access to sort of becoming these first users or first triers of a lot of their great tools. And so we did look at messaging as a way to really be able to deliver these messages to a consumer that is actually telling you that they want that message, right? So click to messaging is a huge opportunity, not only for marketing, but also for customer service and any interaction that you really want to have with the consumer. So we've really looked at how do we integrate the entire messaging stream with this click-to-messaging, and we were actually the first to use WhatsApp Business APIs so that we can directly connect our kind of life cycle of messaging with this ability to talk to the consumer in real time about something that they clearly are interested in because they clicked to that message.
Especially something that you said is something we internalize even as we think about how we build better business messaging products, which is we want the messages that someone receives from a business to be expected and valued, because a messaging inbox is a very personal space. It's where you have your crazy group chats with your family. We were just talking about how we have so many of that on WhatsApp. And you have place in that very personal space as a business to build a relationship with someone, which means when they're expected and valued for the consumer, that drives better performance as well. But the other unique thing about messaging as a channel is there's very few channels out there that allow you to have a deep one-to-one persistent thread and a place to build that relationship with a customer. And it sounds like you're thinking about it in a way where it's not a one and done, it's really the start of something that you can help.
That's exactly right. It's building a relationship and making sure that the customer sees value in that messaging and doesn't just feel like it's a burden and it's something that they have to then delete from their phone, but something that they actually, like you said, is expected and wanted, that they actually get value out of that communication.
Yeah, and on a personal note, I have built relationships with businesses over multiple months and ended up making multiple purchases from them over a long period of time, all in WhatsApp, 1+ year running for one business and I. So clearly my conviction on WhatsApp runs very deep, and it's heartening to always hear when other industry leaders are recognizing that value as well. We are getting kind of close to time, so I wanted to get your take on what do you see as the next big step in AI for marketers? How can they be using it better to drive outcomes, grow their bottom line, all the things that are important?
Yeah, so our vision for AI is really to use it end to end throughout the marketing lifecycle. So when we think about, what I talked about before with data and how data is so critically important and how we can bring all of this data together that has not been able to be brought together before, we think about it throughout the entire life cycle. So from, planning and looking at what your business goals are and forecasting all the way through to creating audiences and then having those audiences be persistent across media, across creative, whether you're doing your creative process, whether you're doing your media planning, and then your production, all the way through to activation and optimization. All of that should be through AI and through a thread that is consistent, using the consistent data, the consistent audiences, and then optimization at the back end and sort of reporting and analysis also done consistently and through AI and through all of this rich data that is now coming together. So for me, this is really exciting because these are processes that were not necessarily able to talk to each other years back, and now we are consistently using the same audiences that are built on all of this rich data that we can activate, that we can create, very unique custom creative on, and then optimize all together.
And throughout these conversations, what's been clear is you're not over-anchoring on any one part of where AI can add value. I think we tend to take a lot of airtime when we talk about creative tools, which of course is an exciting new way to implement AI, but it's great to hear how you're talking about it in the entire life cycle, including especially in understanding and optimizing the value that.
And that's where I think a lot of these tools come in, because in the past, when we were talking about being able to optimize, it was a very manual process, and now you're able to, optimize and, create these new creatives and put it into production in a much faster way that really is able to provide you leverage.
Yeah, so it's performance and also saves you time.
That's right.
The
efficiency
speed.
and performance.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, the speed of innovation. Well, thank you so much, Shirley, for taking the time. Thank you all for joining us. It's hopefully a great insight from an industry leader in how to take this forward, but enjoy the rest of your ad week.
Thanks.